This story did not come from rumors, but from America's court files, police investigations, and the testimonies of victims. Near the American Virgin Islands, in the middle of the ocean, there was a small island called Little St. James. To the outside world, it was known only as a private island, but local people had been calling it Pedophile Island for years. The owner of this island was Jeffrey Epstein, a wealthy New York businessman, the owner of private jets, and a man who socialized with some of the most powerful people in the world. This island was not used just for parties. Underage girls were brought there from different cities across America and Europe. Sometimes they were lured with the promise of massage jobs, sometimes modeling, and sometimes with dreams of money and a better life. These girls were first taken to Epstein's homes in New York and Florida, where their confidence was broken. Then some of them were flown to the island on Epstein's private jet. This private jet later became known as the Lolita Express. The buildings on the island were equipped with hidden cameras. Many victims later testified about this in court. The purpose of these cameras was not just recording, but collecting secrets on every person who came to the island. Every powerful man who visited was secretly recorded. In this way, Jeffrey Epstein controlled many people around the world, not just with money, but with secrets. He was not anyone's friend. He was merely an observer who remembered everything. While all this was happening, the world knew nothing. Powerful people talked about peace, justice, and humanity on television during the day, and at night they came to this very island. Slowly, the truth began to come out. Some girls spoke up, old complaints were reopened, and names began appearing in court records that people could hardly believe. Former U.S. President Bill Clinton's name appeared in flight logs. Donald Trump's. Old social links and photos with Epstein surfaced, and Britain's Prince Andrew faced a direct civil case that later ended in a settlement. Famous names like Michael Jackson, Mick Jagger, Chris Tucker, Kevin Spacey, and Naomi Campbell appeared in Epstein's contact lists and social references. Having their names appear was not proof of guilt, but it did confirm that they were part of Epstein's circle. In 2005, the father of an underage girl reported the matter to the police in Florida. An investigation took place. But Epstein had very strong lawyers and political backing. In 2008, he received only a 13-month sentence, and even that was in a jail where he was allowed to leave during the day to work. In America, this deal became known as the sweetheart deal, one of the most controversial deals in history. After this, Epstein walked free again and continued running his network. In 2019, federal prosecutors in New York arrested Epstein again. This time, the charges were extremely serious: sex trafficking of minors. Hard drives, CDs, and cash were recovered from his home. This was a case that seemed impossible to escape. If Epstein spoke in court, many powerful people could have been directly exposed. On August 10, 2019, Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in a high-security jail in New York. According to the official report, it was a suicide, but his death raised many questions. The jail cameras were not working, the guards were not on duty, and Epstein had previously been on suicide watch. Even today, many Americans believe this was not a suicide, but a silent silencing. Epstein died, but his entire network never fully came to light. His partner Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced, but the whole system survived. This story is not just about one man, but about a system where money, power, and crime come together in one place. When people like this start getting trapped, often it is not the criminals who are finished, but the story itself. And that is why this case is still counted among the darkest and most dangerous cases in the world. This story does not end where Jeffrey Epstein died. In fact, that is where it truly begins. What happened on Epstein's Island was not just about parties or friendships. According to court records and victims' testimonies, underage girls were brought there through a systematic process. At first, they were tempted with money, gifts, education, and job offers. Slowly, they were pushed into a position where they could no longer refuse. They were not used only for Epstein, but for the powerful people who came to the island. The girls themselves have stated that they were kept under control there. Their movements were monitored, and they were forced to remain silent. One of the most dangerous parts of this entire system was recording and blackmail. Whatever happened was secretly recorded through hidden cameras so that if any powerful person ever turned against the system, they could be forced to stay quiet. This is why Epstein was not just wealthy, but also had influence over many powerful people. He knew exactly what each person feared. When Epstein was arrested again in 2019, the investigation did not remain limited to him alone. Prosecutors began targeting his network. His closest associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, was arrested, and the court sentenced her for helping traffic underage girls and facilitating their exploitation. This was the first time that a major part of the Epstein system was officially punished. At present, the Epstein files in America are slowly becoming public. Many documents have already been unsealed, while many are still redacted for legal reasons. The names that have appeared in these files have not yet led to criminal convictions. But many individuals now face civil lawsuits, reputational damage, and the risk of future investigations.